All D&D games come to an end. They're just usually not that satisfying. Whether it's from burnout, scheduling issues, or any number of adult problems, we've all been in a game that just fizzled out. That's why I'm so psyched that I did the impossible. I got 4 adults to coordinate schedules for over a year. I really feel like there should be some kind of award for this. Maybe the IGFATCSFOAY award. In this video, I'm gonna talk about the ending of my campaign. So stick around for our epic 3-part finale. A Dune buggy race through a war zone, a showdown with the mother of magic, and a post-credits party where PCs shared stories and smooches. Let's roll. For the finale, my PCs were going up against Mystra and her church. They led a massive attack on their final outpost, turning it into an active war zone. It was time for the main quest. Stop Mystra from taking control of the Heartstone, a magical well in the center of the planet. When I was envisioning this final battle, I thought of it in 2 parts, a race to the planet's core, and then an epic battle over the Heartstone. For this section of the final battle, I wanted it to feel like a Fast and Furious movie.
I got family.
The party's rogue got behind the wheel and made sleight of hand checks to drive the car, while the other party members either offered aid to him or fought the Archmagus, which is kind of like the magical Pope. Each turn, I had players roll on my custom vehicle hazards table, facing challenges like dodging fireballs or running down enemy barricades. This high-octane race set the tone for the epic finale and subtly drained players' resources as they raced to the core. This section ended with the party flooring it, ramping the car into the massive borehole the church had made and splattering the Archmagus across the hood of their dune buggy. With the race to the core complete, it was now time for the final showdown. The players fell down the massive borehole for approximately a short rest amount of time. Partially because I wanted to communicate just how far down they were falling, and then partially because I'm Mr. Cool Guy DM and I wanted to make sure that my warlock had some spell slots for the final battle. As they approached the core, they watched as the massive drill broke into the chamber and fell into a sea of liquid pure magic. The players also fell into the chamber and landed on a large floating platform where they were confronted by a 100-foot tall avatar of Mystra. For this battle, players had to dodge Mystra's giant fists, which would attempt to grapple them and throw them off the platforms. A couple characters found this out firsthand. While all this was happening on one side of the map, on the other side, 2 priests were performing a ritual to harness the magic of the Heartstone. It was a lot of fun playing this as an objective-based battle. The enemies weren't looking to kill the player characters, they were looking to slow them down so that the ritual could complete. Enemy casters were equipped with spells that would slow or push back the player characters, but I couldn't let the enemies have all the fun. I created a custom table for what I called a spell surge. This table was full of beneficial effects for the player characters. Every turn, the planet's core would empower them with magic, giving them a buff for 1 whole round. These buffs included +5 temp HP, +2 to spell attacks, and even a free upcast of your next spell. In the end, the players were able to bypass the Mystran forces, take control of the Heartstone, and eliminate the church entirely. And as the imaginary credits rolled, I told my players I didn't want it all to end there. I wanted us to have our own Mass Effect Citadel or Baldur's Gate 3 final party. So we ended the session that night and planned to have a pizza party next week where we could wrap up all our loose ends. I would highly suggest doing this for any DM that's ending a campaign. During the week, I made a list of all the notable NPCs from the campaign, and then I wrote a short blurb about what they'd be doing now that the story was over. That way players could get a little bit of closure about what was in store for their favorite characters. My favorite NPC interaction was with Brom Coldmine, a dwarf whose reputation was ruined by rumors that he had been intimate with a goat. Allegedly. During the final party, he danced with his new satyr wife, who showed off her baby bump. I guess there really is somebody for everybody. So yeah, this was the first campaign that I've ever DM'd, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. What do you think? Do you have any campaign ending stories to share? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to check the link in my description if you're interested in my vehicle hazards table, my spell surge table, or my map for the final battle. I'm giving them away free of charge. And if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.